welcome back to the BettorOff Propcast for the Week 8. Man, we're already at Week 8. The Week 8 Thursday night matchup. The Green Bay Packers visiting the Arizona Cardinals, a 6-1 Packers team, a 7-0 Cardinals team. It is everything that we wanted Thursday night football to be. We've had some not ideal matchups so far. Every week we come on, we say, last week we had the banged up Browns and the Broncos. That we were saying that could have potential. Absolute dud of a game. We've had the Bengals and the Jags. We've had just like these lopsided games. We had the Panthers, Texans, all these things. We finally get the game that we want. And then the Packers have to lose Davante Adams and Alan Lazard and their defensive coordinator, the COVID list. So it is not going to be, in my opinion, it's not going to be the full 6-1 Packers that we've seen. I still think it could be an interesting game, but obviously we have a lot of time to talk about that. So let's welcome in our esteemed guest, as always, Mr. Prop Holliday. How are we doing, Prop? What are your first thoughts about this game?
Same thing as you, man. I was pumped going into the game. We finally got a worthy Thursday night matchup. Two of the top teams in the NFC. I'm still waiting for the Cardinals to get a loss. I thought it was going to come here, and then going into the week, we hear about Davante Adams. Lazard is definitely out. Davante, I think, it's not confirmed, but it's probably like 90% he's out. And then Joe Barry, the defensive coordinator for the Packers, is expected to be out as well, which does make a difference. People don't think that, but I think it does make a difference. I still think it's going to be a good game. I'm still fairly excited for this game. Anytime there's football on, I'm excited. But two Super Bowl contending teams, even though one's banged up, it doesn't bother me at all. So I'm pretty excited for tomorrow night.
Yeah, it could definitely be a potential. You think about the Bucs, but could be a potential playoff, maybe NFC Championship matchup right smack dab in the middle of the season. So it's gonna be exciting no matter what. Looking forward to watching no matter what. Currently, Cardinals are favored by a touchdown. They're -6.5 right now, and they are -290 on the money line, which is obviously those are reflections of the news about Adams and Lazard and the coordinator being out, but. Still think it'll be a good game. The over and under is currently set at 49.5. So expecting some decent amount of scoring in this game, even with all of those injuries. So, we're not here to talk about the game. We're here to talk about the bets. So let's just get right into it. Before we give our single plays, we wanted to introduce a promotion that BettorOff is running. We started it last week, where we're going to be running it back every Thursday night. It's going to coincide with the Propcast. It's called the Propcast Parlay. So what's going to happen is we're going to take my favorite straight play. We're going to take Prop Holiday's favorite straight play. We're going to put the two into a parlay, but it's a 3-leg parlay. The last leg is going to come from you, the viewers, and the watchers. On Twitter, we are going to open up after we post our two favorite plays Thursday morning. We're going to open up the floor to everyone else on Twitter, see what they think, see what they like, and then we'll probably narrow it down to 3 or 4, and we'll have a vote from there. And that winning consensus pick among the public will then be the third leg in the parlay. We're going to take 25 of our own money, put it on the 3-leg parlay, and if it hits, we're going to be giving it out to people who voted, people who interacted, retweeted, liked, followed us, everything. So last week it was 25 to win. I want to say 575. So it's decent money. We're going to be picking legs that are just about even money. Last week we had, if you want to throw a touchdown score on there, that's plus 200 right there, whatever. So it's a good promotion. It's an easy way to win possibly $500, $600. Who knows? So be on the lookout for that. It'll be up probably a little bit right after this is posted. So make sure to head to that tweet, comment what you think the third leg should be, and then vote on it later in the day. And easy money. You're going to be watching the game anyway, so it's just another thing for you to root for that isn't your money on the line. So now that we have that introduced, we're going to go through. I am going to give Prop Holiday is actually going to start. He's going to give his play. I'll give mine, and then we'll go into the same game parlays. So what's your single play, Bob?
Sure. I mean, it ties in with Devontae Adams being out, and it's kind of an overlooked game script that people aren't really talking about. I love the under, and I saw it at as high as 51. It could be at 50 and a half. You mentioned 49 and a half. I wouldn't go much lower than 49 and a half, but I like the under in general on this game. People like to talk about the offenses. They like to talk about Kyler Murray. They like to talk about Aaron Rodgers. Arizona's ranked first in opponents' points per game. They're giving up 16 points per game. Green Bay is seventh in the same exact stat. They're giving up 20.9, almost 21 points per game. So both defenses aren't getting enough credit for who they are. If you look at the Thursday night football game this season, it's only exceeded 51 points once, and that was week one. So two teams coming in fully healthy, plenty of time to prepare. All the rosters are ready to go. That was the Tampa Bay Dallas game. Other than that, a Thursday night game has not sniffed over 51 points. So I do like the under on this, and it also ties into the game script. If you don't have an Allen Lazard, you don't have a Devonta Adams, your top two targets, you really need to lean on that run game. You need to lean on an Aaron Jones. You need to lean on AJ Dillon. We saw the Packers do this against Chicago. We saw the Packers do this against Pittsburgh. These were churn the yards out, low scoring, run the ball as much as you can. We saw AJ Dillon, I think, get up near 49-50% of the snaps. So I expect them to control the clock, meaning the Packers, control the clock and keep the ball away from Kyler. Whether they can do that or not, I don't know. But I think going into the game, as long as it's still fairly low scoring the first half, is going to be a lot of the grinded out yards. So I like under 51. I would play it down to 49 and a half, but not much more than that.
Cool. Yeah. So for my single play, I am going with Robert Tonyan over 35 and a half receiving yards. I mean, like we said, Adams, Lazard's his top two receiving targets are out. So I feel like they're going to go heavy on the Aaron Jones play and run, even catching out of the backfield. But I think that Arizona will then adjust to that kind of game plan and open up a couple of mid-sized plays for Tonyan. He's going to be probably behind Jones, but on the goal line in the red zone, he's going to probably be their number one target. He almost has been in the red zone. They love to target this guy in the red zone. So you'll see later I have a Tonyan touchdown in my same game parlay, but I like him over 35 and a half. I think, like I said, Jones will probably be the workhorse, of the night. And once, if the Cardinals have to adjust to that, I think it'll open up some good seams for Tonyan to get a couple of medium plays, maybe a big one, and then maybe, a touchdown or two. So that's what I like. Robert Tonyan, it is at minus 115 because this is over right now. So that's what I'm rolling with for my single play. And then let's just go right into the same game parlay. So as always, we'll save the best for last. I will go first. So we have mine's a 5-leg parlay. It's going to be 3 touchdown scorers, an alternate spread, and a quarterback prop. So how exciting. So for the touchdown scorers, I have, as I mentioned before, Robert Tonyan to score a touchdown. He's plus 220. As I was making that, it was bouncing around. It was like plus 190, then plus 250, then plus 215. So the books can't figure it out. Maybe 220 is a good line. I like it because, like I said, I think especially in the red zone, they're going to look Jones and then they're going to look Tonyan. And if the Arizona D is trying to swallow up that run game in the red zone, I do like Tonyan as their biggest, as a big target and a big target. Then I do think the Cardinals are going to do a little bit better through the air. So I do like Christian Kirk also with the TD at plus 170. And then I also have James Conner to punch one in plus 140. Those are my 3 touchdowns. We've got Tonyan, Kirk, and Conner. And then alternate spread, I like the Packers plus 10.5. That's at minus 200. So it's a little bit of a safer play normally than I go with on my parlays. But Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. I think plus 10.5 is conservative for the Packers. I mean, the line right now is currently 6.5. You could go alternate 7 or 8.5, and you'll still get like almost even money on it. But in Arizona, the undefeated team in the NFL, you can't really be sure. I do like the 10-point buffer. So I'm going to ride 10.5 with the Packers minus 200. I also wouldn't be surprised if the Packers cover minus 2.5. So it's really hard to say, but I do but that's fine by me with this bet. So Packers plus 10.5 minus 200. And then my final leg is on the back of that, Rodgers over 1.5 touchdown passes. So that's also a little bit safer, minus 170. But if this line were to open 5 days ago, it would have been over 2.5 touchdown passes. So they take out. I think it's been 2.5 for him every single week this year. So you take out your top two receivers, but Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers, man, and that's a bad man, and he can ball out with anybody. So I mean, minus 170 for 1.5. I like it. So I mean, whether that be obviously Tunyon, Randall Cobb, Valdez Scantling might be back in time. They're trying to push him back to get him in this game. They're just an Aaron Jones. They love the Aaron Jones passing touchdown. So I think 1.5, especially if we think the Cardinals are the favorite in this game and they're down and Rodgers is forced to throw the ball more. I think 1.5 is a good line. So those are my 5 legs. Packers plus 10.5. Tunyon, Kirk, and James Conner touchdowns, and then Rodgers over 1.5 touchdown passes. That is plus 3,500, so 10 to win 360, which is a little bit lower for me. I do love to dabble with the 10 to win 1,000, 10 to win 900, but take a step back. Haven't hit in a couple of weeks, so let's start rebuilding from the ground up. So 10 to win 360, book it. Prop Holiday, what do you got for us?
Sure. So I got a 5-legger. It's obviously the under 51. As far as touchdowns go, I really love AJ Dillon in this game. AJ Dillon only has 1 touchdown on the season, but I do think it's going to be more of a run-heavy game. Cardinals are giving up 5.6 yards per carry. It's the second worst in the league. And honestly, it's being overlooked kind of how bad the Arizona Cardinals have been torn up against other running backs. Now, the past couple games, they blew out Cleveland. They blew out Houston. But if you look earlier in the season, Dalvin Cook went 22 for 131. James Robinson, 15 for 88. Darrell Henderson, 14 for 89. I think the Packers are going to have success running the ball against this Arizona Cardinals team, who, I don't know if anybody's paid attention to this, inside linebacker Jordan Hicks hasn't practiced all week. He's their thumper in the middle. Nose tackle Rashard Lewis, he's out. He's been out with a calf injury, has not practiced all week. They were out Monday and Tuesday. I haven't seen today's report yet, but 2 guys in the middle of that defense for the Arizona Cardinals that really are set to stop the run have not practiced all week. So I like AJ Dillon to punch one in. The other one that plays into this is the long shot, which throws the odds through the roof. Mercedes Lewis to score a touchdown. I think Mercedes Lewis, his snap count's actually been more higher than you think. He just hasn't been targeted. He's in that like 60-70% snap range. He's really just a blocking tight end. If you're from that Sean McVay coaching tree, which LaFleur is, they pick their spots with certain guys. We saw it with Deshaun Jackson, where he popped out one week, scored a touchdown, lit it up, and then he went away. Mercedes Lewis is someone I can see where, he's in the block. Now we're inside the red zone, and he breaks out for 5 yards. We get him a red zone touchdown. And especially when you have a depleted wide receiver core, I'm going to lean on my vets. I'm going to lean on Randall Cobb. I'm going to lean on Mercedes Lewis. So A.J. Dillon, Mercedes Lewis to score under 51. On the Arizona side of the ball, I love Chase Edmonds. The guy's having the best year of his career. He's averaged like 85 yards per game scrimmage. He is doing he's still winning the snap percentage with Connor. But I do think he's extremely explosive. He ends up getting in the end zone at some point. And then the Packers plus 6.5. They can win this game outright. I think last year without Aaron Rodgers, without Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers was 2-0 with the team. In 2019, Devontae Adams missed 4 games. They went 4-0. Aaron Rodgers has not suffered because Devontae Adams is not there, which plays really well if you're over 1.5 touchdowns. But I think the Packers actually end up covering in a lower scoring game. This is $10 to win 4,456. Obviously, that is heavily driven by Mercedes Lewis, but I think the game script and who Aaron Rodgers can rely on a Thursday night football game, we're going to see a lot of Mercedes Lewis in the red zone. I think he squeaks one off and gets one in, probably inside the 5. So under 51, A.J. Dillon, Chase Edmonds, Mercedes Lewis, Packers plus 6.5. It's 10 to win 4,400. That's what I like with these plays, man. I don't expect to win them. I expect a lottery ticket that I make it into the fourth quarter and I'm literally pulling the pillow apart on my couch. This is what I want out of a lottery ticket. And it's only 5 legs. So ties into game script. Game script has to go the way that I expect, but if the game script does go the way I expect, I think this one has a really good shot at hit.
Mercedes Lewis, 37 years old. He is older than Jordy Nelson. who has not been around for a few years, but I remember Marcedes Lewis back
Jaguars.
In his Jacksonville days. Yeah, his big days. But so him and Rodgers same age. Who knows? Who knows if there's a
I
connection
have
for the 37-year-olds?
I have to pull this up. I got to see his snaps. His lowest snap count was 26% week 1. Since then, 55, 40, 49, 45, 68, 38. He's hovering around that 40% average. He's in the game 40% of the time. Now you've just taken two of his top targets away, and I think they're going to try to run the ball, which is why Marcedes Lewis is essentially in the game at this point. He's an additional tackle at the end of the line. So you give me 6-1 on a guy I expect to be in the red zone, I'll take a chance.
Nice. I like that play. See, this is why we have Prop Holiday on there. The type of plays that you would not consider otherwise, but it holds water. I mean, I'm gonna ride it. I like Marcedes Lewis. I like thinking
I'm a
it's
Zag.
2012 all over again.
We got AJ Green in the game. It's completely except JJ Watt. We're just going in the time machine.
Seriously, this is a battle of the older, and then you got Kyler Murray holding down the floor. Chase Edmonds holding down the chores.
He was probably 8 years old when all of this was going down. But no, man, we're in store for I think a very good Thursday night football game that we have not seen in a while. These are two teams that we expect to be playing come January. And maybe Kyler Murray gets his bubble pop. This is that week 8 time frame where we saw him last year jump out to be an MVP candidate. And then he either gets dinged up, starting to get figured out. Obviously, the hype is with them. They're undefeated. But this is when you come back down to earth. It's not the Texans. It's not a banged-up Cleveland Browns team. This is Aaron Rodgers, and he's motivated. So I like it.
Yeah. I mean, like we always say, it's primetime football. We're going to love watching it regardless. So that's gonna do it. These keep getting shorter and shorter. We're packing the information in there. I hope that the viewers can handle all of this knowledge that we are just spewing out all over the place. So that's gonna do it. Make sure to be on the lookout for the Propcast parlay. Who knows? Maybe he'll change his pick to Marcedes Lewis. You won't know unless you check out get that payout way up there. So check out the tweet. Make sure to if you like a leg, comment. Maybe it'll be the one, and maybe you'll be the one walking away with the money. So check that out. Check us out on Twitter and Instagram. Twitter at BettorOff Sports, Instagram at BettorOff. All the other socials, same thing. You'll find us there. But again, it's week 8. We're getting right into the middle of it. Should be a good game. We finally got 2 good teams, so we're excited for it. For Prop Holiday, I'm Dan Skidlowski. Thank you again, and we will see you next time. Tony Reale.